as we gather in 2010 to release the State of Black America report, we gather at a time when big events, important events, are abound us. The Great Recession, which has battered our communities, caused economic hemorrhaging, loss of economic growth, loss of jobs, loss of homes, placed many people in our communities on their heels. Second, we gather at a time when this great Urban League movement celebrates 100 years. 100 years of making a difference, empowering communities, and changing lives. We also gather at a time when the official count, the census, is underway. A very important part of the foundation of the numbers in this report come from the census. But as each and every one of you knows, political empowerment and the distribution of money is as a result of the census, and I encourage all of you to use your voice when you return to your local communities to encourage people to fill that form out and return it so that this count can be accurate and complete. We also gather in Washington, D.C. in a week of great history. Yesterday, the President, Barack Obama, signed a health reform bill, which is the most significant piece of social legislation in 40 years. And that bill strikes right at the heart of health disparities, strikes at the very heart of many of the challenges that have been discussed in this report over the past 30 years. Again, I want to thank all of the affiliate leaders and volunteers who weighed in with their members of Congress. And I take my hat off not only to the President, but to the members of Congress who stuck in there when it looked bleak. They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. And I think it was Barack Obama's Teddy Roosevelt moment. He spoke softly and carried a big stick right at the end. And the big stick was Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, and Jim Clyburn. Because I marveled at how they converted blue dogs and progressives who didn't vote yes, who didn't like the bill at one point, but who formed this very important. So we gather at a time of the Great Recession, the Urban League's 100th anniversary. We gather at a time of the census and at a time of the passage of the health bill. What is the state of Black America in 2010? We are at a time of one crisis, and we're at a time, as Valerie mentioned, crossroads. And we are at a time of crisis because we cannot yield a blind eye, if you will, to the manner in which this recession has affected our community. Each and every one of you knows that we asked people to share their stories with us. More than 100 people shared their stories with us. And I think to underscore the crisis, I just want to read a few of these stories, which come from real people in your hometowns. Melissa, a young college graduate, facing college loan payments, questions her decision to seek higher education. Even if I defer my student loans, the interest is growing so much that it will only make my situation worse. I need help, and not a jobs bill, but a career bill that allows for more entry-level jobs to help graduates get into some of the job fields that would allow an equal chance. Then there's the story of the grandmother. She's desperate to hang on to our home. And like so many grandmothers, she's supporting 2 granddaughters. She says, I have the skills that the employers are requesting. I sit at my computer day in and day out, using the search engines to find leads on employment, only to find nothing. There appears to be nothing out there. We want this bewildered grandmother to connect with the workforce program at an Urban League affiliate in her hometown. There's the story of Melvin, who is formerly incarcerated. He wants to turn his life around. Nobody wants to hire me, but that's okay, because they don't know what they have in me as an asset. I'm going to keep on plugging the holes and gaps with the help of the Urban League of Jacksonville, and I will not give up. Thank you, Richard Danford. And then there's the story of the 54-year-old black unemployed woman with a master's of science in counseling, over 20 years of experience, and no reserve financial resources. She says, Congress, we need your help to help people to stay in their homes and to find a job. And I don't want unemployment insurance. I want a job. These stories underscore, in 2010, this great crisis that we face in this nation when it comes to jobs. And I know that I could repeat ad infinitum and ad nauseum the numbers contained in this book. Or I could continue to read story after story of our friends, our neighbors, our constituents, and the people we care about from communities across the nation. But why are we here today? We're here today because we want to send the most powerful message, the strongest message possible, that a nation which can invest trillions of dollars bailing out banks and financial institutions can and should and must pass a jobs bill that matters in America's communities. And I learned recently by reading the newspaper about a $53 billion reconstruction plan. This $53 million reconstruction plan includes 150 health clinics, the training of 385,000 police officers, providing 291 million gallons of gas per day, adding the capacity to treat 317 million gallons of sewerage, adding to the electricity grid. And that reconstruction plan, which your and my tax dollars pays for, is for a city that starts with a B. It's not Baltimore, it's not Boston, it's not Binghamton, it's Baghdad. So I'm here to say that if we as a nation can commit to bail out banks, to stabilize the financial services industry, and we as a nation can commit $53 billion to reconstruct Baghdad, why should there be any hesitation to pass a jobs bill which puts people to work in Boston and Baltimore and Binghamton and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and Tallahassee? Why is it so difficult? Our voices have to be not only about a plan, but they need to be about that other P called priorities. And the priority today, in America today, at this crossroads, has to be the priority of putting people back to work.